tuning in. So this is the Keep It Real show on Reconcilers Radio, and it happens every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Hi Facebook Live. So this is the Keep It Real show on Reconcilers Radio. My name is Amanda, the host for this show. And if you tuned in earlier, the topic for today is healing from brokenness. What does this topic mean? Being healed from brokenness. And what does this verse, which is Psalm 147 verse 3, mean to you? It says, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. And just before the break, I just gave a short passage about what it means that He heals. And the New Living Translation for this verse, which is Psalm 147 verse 3, says, He heals the brokenhearted and bandages their wounds. He heals the brokenhearted and bandages their wounds. And that's Psalm 147 verse 3. So please let me know your views regarding this topic. What does it mean, to be able to be healed from brokenness? What does it even mean to be broken? How do we even know when we're broken? And how do we spread the love of God out to a broken world? How do we leave our burdens? How do we surrender our brokenness? Allow God to work in us, instead of carrying it all around with us. So the number to call is 07837 299 499. That's 07837 299 499. You can send a message to this number, or you can also send a WhatsApp message to this number. Okay, or alternatively you can send me a message on my Facebook page, which is Mandy Favored Ofori. That's Mandy Favored Ofori. That's Mandy Favored Ofori. So thank you for all those who have tuned in on Facebook. Thank you to Still Preacher, who hosts a show, DSP, who hosts a show on Saturday morning. That's Saturday Morning Live. He's just tuned in here on Facebook. Thank you, Diana J. Adu, for tuning in. Also, thank you, Ose Olobo, for tuning in, and Phoebe Ama Kwachiwa for tuning in. So, the topic for today is healing from brokenness, and the Bible verse for today is Psalm 147 verse 3, which says, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. And that's the New International Version. And the New Living Translation says, He heals the brokenhearted and bandages their wounds. What does this Bible verse mean to you? And how do we overcome brokenness in a world where literally everything is broken? And how do we surrender our brokenness to God? And how do we spread the love of God to a broken world? And how do we know? How do we become aware that people are broken? Because everybody's walking around normally, and everybody's saying hi and smiling, but not knowing there's a lot of, brokenness going on all around us. Also, you can send a message to my personal number. If you have my personal number, please send a message to my number. Facebook, I would love to hear from you. So please send your views regarding this topic of healing from brokenness. And the Bible verse for today is Psalm 147 verse 3, which says, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. That's Psalm 147 verse 3. So let me know your view regarding this topic, Facebook. And some of the questions you can answer is, what does it mean to be healed from brokenness? And how do you overcome brokenness? At what stage? Is it through stages, or how is it done? And how do you surrender your burdens and your brokenness to God? And how do you spread the love of God to others around who are also broken, or others who are not in Christ? So, from my view, He heals means you remove the emotional pain, which I spoke about before. It means God removes the burden. So God heals me by removing the emotional pain. So whatever emotions that I was connected to, maybe being sad or being confused or feeling needy, He removes that emotional pain. So I'm no longer walking around with that sadness, and He removes that. And He also removes the burden, and He gives strength beyond the unbearable circumstance. So whatever causes you to be broken, obviously that thing must be very heavy. That's why it's caused you to be broken. But God gives us strength to overcome, because He says, greater is He that lives in us than he that is in the world. So He gives us strength to overcome the brokenness, which means that we are stronger with God, more stronger than the difficult situation or the loss or the pain or whatever that's caused us to be broken. And he gives us power to overcome. He says he has not given us the spirit of fear and nervousness, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. And I know that it's beyond just saying it, because sometimes you have to go through situations which make you question, am I strong enough to face this? Like, this looks so big for me. But, you know, his strength is made perfect in our weakness. So please let me know your views regarding this topic. The number to call is 07837299499. You can also send a message to my personal number if you have it, and I would have to go off Facebook Live, as I'm on Facebook Live on my phone. Or please make sure you call as well. The number for the studio, which is 07837299499. Or you can send a message to my Facebook page if you're on Facebook. That's Mandy Favored Ofori. That's Mandy Favored Ofori. Mandy Favored Ofori. Or my personal Instagram page, which is AKU8_Mandy. AKU8_Mandy. Also, we have a Twitter page, which is Reconcilers RDO. Reconcilers RDO. And I'll read all your messages on here. Also, if you're tuned in, let me know you're tuned in. I'll give you a shout out. Also, if you have any music requests, please send any music requests that you have. Please comment on Facebook the music requests that you have. Thank you, Nana Kweku, also for joining, and thank you, Ofe Nana, for joining. God richly bless you. So listeners, I have, should I say, a message from my blog regarding this topic of healing from brokenness. And sometimes that to me means that, you know, a stage in your life where you are disappointed, you know, as a result of somebody doing something to you, maybe somebody very close, you're expecting them to be there for you. Or it can be a season of loneliness, you know, a season where you feel like you're alone because you're being separated from people that love you, and that can cause you to have this emptiness or this void. But when you know God, he fills every void. And so on my blog, there's a message I wrote around this time last year, which says, "You are never alone." And I'll just, you know, read it briefly. So Jacob left his father Isaac's house to run from his brother Esau, who wanted to kill him. As a result of taking his blessings, and also to find his, and also he left his father Esau's house to find his wife in his mother's hometown. But on his way there was nowhere for him to sleep. But he found a place to lay his head, and literally laid his head on a stone. And that's how bad it is. Thank you so much, Esther, Jacob, for joining. And thank you, Sonia, for joining in. And even though it was such an unknown place, that's where God was. That's where God's presence was. And that's how God first spoke to him, in a place where he was left alone and lonely. And possibly, you know, broken, because he had to leave his family. And it must be difficult for those who have to leave your family, you know, for a purpose. It's still, you know, there's still that void where you want to be around them. So Jacob didn't have a house there, and it was a stone that he laid his head on and slept, and it was this unknown place. But that's where God spoke to him. So I believe that God really speaks to us in our brokenness, or in the time where we feel like we're alone and everybody's away from us. And the fact that, you know, wherever you are, even if it's an abusive home, or it's an abusive relationship, or, you know, it's a relationship that's broken, or is lost in the family, you know, God is right there. Like, God is right there with us. And even though you may be at an unknown place, or a certain place where everything does not add up, you know, God is still right there with us. Because with Jacob, that's where God was. He wasn't with him. He didn't, Jacob did not experience the presence of God when he was with his family. You know, everybody was around. It was actually when he was alone, you know, lonely, didn't have nothing, away from everybody. And that's where God encountered him. So I believe that through the deserted place and the deserted looking situation, that's where God is releasing his promise. So through the brokenness, God is going to make something beautiful out of your brokenness, out of your story. And sometimes we feel like we go through situations and we're like, God, how are you going to use this? And whatever we went through might have caused us to be broken. But I believe that that's how God builds us and prepares us to be able to share his love to others, because there will be others around us that are also broken or going through the same situation. So those on Facebook, please send your views across. The message for today is healing from brokenness. That's healing from brokenness. And the verse for today is Psalm 147 verse 3, which says, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. And that's the New International Version. The New Living Translation says, He heals the brokenhearted and bandages their wounds. So what does this verse mean to you? And how do you overcome brokenness? Or if you've been through a loss of a family member or a loss of something really important to you, how did you overcome this brokenness? And how did you surrender or give all your burdens to God for Him to deal with it? And are you truly healed? How do you know when you're truly healed? So going back to Jacob's story, he said on my blog that I wrote about, I said, you remember where you were before your blessing. That's when God heals you and brings you out of that brokenness. So glory will belong to God, and God is close to the brokenhearted. He's right there where we are. God is releasing His blessing in the confused situation. But is our eyes on the situation or on God? Because if we focus on the situation, we miss God. It's not when Jacob was in his father's house, surrounded with his family and friends, that God spoke. God spoke when Jacob was all alone in an unknown place without even a roof over his head, without a pillow to lay his head on. God is speaking. Please, let's make time and listen. You may feel alone or feel broken, but believe and understand and know that Almighty God has His eyes on you. So that message is on my blog, and it's called You Are Never Alone. And my blog name is hungerforjesus.net. So that's www.hungerforjesus.net. So you can search for this message. Just type in You Are Never Alone on my blog, which is hungerforjesus.net, and you'll be able to read this message on brokenness. So please, listeners, I want to hear from you. I'm sure there's messages which have been sent to my phone, so I might have to go on Facebook Live never to read it. Thank you, Frederick Bracker, for joining us, and Olaido Ibe for joining us as well. And yeah, so please send any music requests that you have. Olaido, please send me your songs. I can play them. So send me your songs as well. Olaido is a new Christian music artist or gospel artist, and she's got amazing songs. So I'll try and make sure I play some of her songs during our break. So please let me know your views regarding this topic. That's healing from brokenness. Healing from brokenness based on the verse Psalm 147 verse 3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Let me know how your day's been going as well. I'm coming here from work. I finished work at 5 and I started the show here at 6. So please let me know how your day's been at work as well. And how do we spread the love of God to a broken world? Literally in London, there's so much suicide events going on at least every 2 weeks or every week, and the world is really broken. There's broken people all around us. We're all facing situations that's, burdening us or making us crippled sometimes, but because we know Christ, because we have Christ, we can overcome, because He gives us strength to overcome. But there's people that can't overcome, who are all around us, but every day we walk past them. So how do we get to the level where we're able to recognize and also speak into people's lives who are broken, around us, especially in this part of the world, So please let me know your views, and the number to call is 07837299499. You can send a message to this number, a WhatsApp message or a normal message. Also send me a message to my personal Facebook page, which is Mandy Favored Ofori. That's Mandy Favored Ofori. Or you can send Reconcilers Facebook page, which is at Reconcilers Radio. That's a Reconcilers Radio. If you're on Facebook, please comment just below to let me know your views regarding this topic. Also, we have our Twitter page, which is Reconcilers RDO. Reconcilers RDO. And I'll share all your messages. So we're going to go on a quick music break. So please send your music requests as well, and I'll play any song that you would like to listen to. So please enjoy Better by Jessica Reading. I think I listened to this song, I think 2 days ago, and it just says that no matter what you're facing, that God has plans for us of a good future and of an expected end. That is not the end, no matter what disappointment or what's caused you to be broken or empty. God greater and better plans. This is not the end. The fact that something bad is happening, that's not the end of it. You know, there's greater that's about to come. Thank you so much, Olido eBay, for tuning in. And she says, thank you, Olido. I'll try and get your songs out here. So thank you. Says you're amazing, Amanda. Showing love and praying for those who are brokenhearted. Will send music aside. Please make sure you send your music, and definitely I'll play your songs. And thank you for all those who've commented as well. So William Kofi Safu says, hey Amanda, how are you? Hope all is well with you, love. Love to come and share some of the gospel. I know sometimes. Yes, please send me anything that you have. Message me on my Facebook page. The Still Preacher, hello. And he says, I have found that one major ingredient healing from brokenness is forgiveness. We need to forgive those who have hurt us in order to heal. Wow, that's so true. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes, you know, it's not an easy thing sometimes to forgive, but God forgives us, so we have to learn to forgive others. But does that mean, you know, if you're forgiving them, does that mean you have to make our distance, or we have to go close to them again? And how are you going to trust somebody again that's, you know, caused you to be broken or done something that's broken to you? So please, Estelle, send me a message back as well. So how are you going to, apart from forgiving them, how are you going to trust them as well? How do you overcome that? Sorry, listeners, we're going to go on a music break. So please enjoy Jessica Reedy Better. Hi, Facebook Live. I'm going to try and read the messages on this phone. So I'm going to come off this phone. So please stay tuned. I'm going to come back in about 5 minutes. So please stay tuned. And I'll read all your messages that you have. Thank you for all those that's just joined in. Thank you, Bernard, for joining. Bernard Frimpon from Italy, thank you. And thank you, Emmanuel Ofori. Okay, so I'm going to go off. And I'm going to come back again. I just need to read the messages on this phone. God bless.